Welcome to Job Bridges Japanese Language Training Center. We provide an online tutorial for people who aspires to work in Japan. Before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to keep you updated on our lessons to help you master Japanese language in no time. Konnichiwa minasan! Welcome back to Job Bridges Japanese Language Lessons. In today's video, we'll be discussing about Lesson 6. And again, we'll be having Sedi.
Konnichiwa minasan, Sedi desu.
The first topic in Lesson 6 is all about using the particle o. So how do we use this? It's noun o and then transitive verb. The particle o is used to indicate the direct object of a transitive verb. Now take note that this is pronounced as o or wo in the hiragana alphabet, but then again, just like e, whenever you're going to use it as a particle, it is pronounced as o. Remember that, alright? The direct object is linked to the action of the verb. So this can be anything from hitting a ball, to studying Japanese, to eating a bread, and so on. So in both situations, there is an object directly linked to a verb. So we must use o to glue these words together. So let me give you some examples. Number 1, juzu o nomimasu. Again, juzu o nomimasu, which means I drink juice. So note that juice is the direct object of the verb nomimasu or to drink. That's why we use the particle o. Next example, zashi o yomimasu. Again, zashi o yomimasu, which means I will read a magazine. In this example, zashi or magazine is the direct object that receives the action yomimasu or to read. Therefore, the Japanese particle o links the noun and the verb together. Alright, Cedric. Let me give you some English sentences and translate them into Japanese language sentence or into Nihongo. Are you ready?
Hi!
Alright. I eat bread.
私はパンを食べます。
Very good. Watashi wa pan o tabemasu. How about this one? I ate bread and egg.
私はパンと卵を食べました。
Very good. Now on the second example, note how Cedric used the to particle in connecting pan and tamago, or pan to tamago, or in English, pan and egg. And then he uses the same o or the particle o in linking the nouns and the verb, which is tabemashita or to eat. You got that, everyone? I hope you do. Next topic in lesson 6 is noun o shimasu. Again, noun o shimasu. How do we use this? So, a fairly wide range of nouns are used as the objects of the verb shimasu, which means that the action denoted by the noun is performed. Again, these are like ordinary nouns that we sometimes use as an action verb, or it doesn't have an action verb on its own. So let me give you some examples in English, and then of course, Sedi will be the one to read the Japanese sentences. Are you ready, everyone? So the first use of Nをします is used in this instance when you're playing sports or games. For example, to play soccer.
サッカーをします。
Alright? And then another one is when holding gatherings or events, like giving a party.
パーティーをします。
And then doing something like, number 1, doing homework.
宿題をします。
And then when you're trying to call or to phone someone.
電話をします。
And then lastly, just trying to work.
仕事をします。
Did you get that, everyone? Now you might be wondering, where else can we use this, Sensei? Have you heard of the term, when you wanted to search for something and then someone would say, just Google it. And then, of course, there's no such thing or there's no verb to use for, using Google. So in Japanese, you could say, Google o shimasu. And then when you wanted to search for someone in Facebook, you could say like, Facebook o shimasu. Do you get or do you understand how we could use N o shimasu in our daily sentences? Now everyone, I know by now you already know how to express an action, and even I've already told you or taught you how to put a direct object to your verb. But how about wanting to ask someone what they are doing? Right? So here comes, Nani o shimasu ka? Again, Nani o shimasu ka? So this is a question to ask about someone's action. So let me give you some examples on how to use Nani o shimasu ka? Said, what are you doing on Monday? Or should I say, Getsuyobi, Nani o shimasu ka?
Kyoto e ikimasu.
Or in English,
I'm going to Kyoto.
very good. Then, I have another question. What did you do yesterday? Or, Kino nani o shimashita ka? Again, Kino nani o shimashita ka?
Saka o shimashita.
Alright, now last question. I promise this will be the last question for this topic. Said, Ima, nani o shimasu ka?
Ima nihongo o benkyou shimasu.
Very good, Cedric. Now, minasan, I know you've been wondering what is the difference between nan and nani. So remember, both nan and nani means what? But nan, okay, how do we differentiate the two? Nan is used in the following cases. Number 1, when it precedes a word whose first sound is in the ta, da, or narrow. Now, Cedric, what are the hiragana under the taro?
It's ta, chi, tu, te, to.
Very good. Now, how about those that under the daro?
Da, zi, zu, de, do.
And then lastly, those that are under the narrow.
Na, ni, nu, ne, no.
Alright, so I hope you'd remember that, everyone. So let's take a look at the examples that we have in using nan. Do you mind helping me, Cedric?
Daijoubu desu, sensei.
Okay, so the first example that we have is, what's that?
Sore wa nan desu ka?
Why did we use nan in this instance?
Because it precedes the letter de.
Very good. Now, next example. What's that book about?
Nanuhon desu ka?
And then, why did we use nan in this sentence?
Because it precedes the letter no.
Okay, very good. Lastly, what do you say?
Nanto imasu ka?
And then, why did we use nan again instead of nani?
Because it precedes the letter to.
Alright, very good. I hope everyone gets that. Now, take note that nande is used for asking why. Again, that is nande. As well as how is nanide. Nanide can be used when the speaker wants to make it clear that he or she is asking how. Alright, everyone, don't mistaken nande and nanide for nan and nani. Wakarimashita ka? Wakatta ne? Take note of the following examples. How are you getting to Tokyo?
Nani de Tokyo e ikimasu ka?
And then lastly, I'm going on the Shinkansen.
Shinkansen de ikimasu.
Note that when the question or the sentence asks you how you are going to Tokyo, they use or we use nani de. And then, of course, the answer is by Shinkansen. That's why we use Shinkansen de. Wakarimashita?
Wakarimashita.
Now, we can also use nan when using it with counter suffixes. Example, how old is Teresa?
Teresa-chan wa nansai desu ka?
Alright. Remember, you can use it with the counter suffixes. So like nansai, nanyobi, nangetsu, nannen, nandai, nanmai, and so on. Now, nani is used in all other cases apart from 1 and 2. Like, what are you going to buy?
Nani o kaimasu ka?
Okay, very good. Now, last question said, Ima, nani o benkyou shimasu ka?
Nihongo o benkyou shimasu.
Very good. Minasan, wakarimashita ka? Wakarimashita ne. In the previous lesson, I know that I've taught you that de can be used as a means of transportation when you're going to a certain place. Now, in this lesson, there is another use of de. But here, this is used in a noun, which is a place, de, and verb. When added after a noun denoting a place, the particle de indicates the occurrence of the action in that place. Let's look at our example. I'm going to buy paper at the station.
Eki de shimbun o kaimasu.
Okay. Note that he used the de after the eki, denoting that he will buy the newspaper or the shimbun at the eki, which is at the station. Now, Sir Rick, I have a few questions for you. Doko de benkyou shimasu ka?
Uchi de benkyou shimasu.
Doko de tabemasu ka?
Shokudo de tabimasu.
Did you hear that, guys? He uses the de after the noun, which is the place where the actions took place or will take place. Like he said that uchi de benkyou shimasu, denoting that he will study or is studying at his house, and then shokudo de tabemasu, noting that he will eat at the canteen or a dining hall, which is the shokudo. Did you get that, everyone? I hope you do. The next topic or the next sentence pattern that we have under lesson 6 is the verb masenka. Again, verb masenka. This expression is used when the speaker wants to invite someone to do something. Let me show you some example. Would you like to come to Kyoto with us? Or in Japanese, Isho ni Kyoto e ikimasen ka? Again, Isho ni Kyoto e ikimasen ka? Now, if you do want to join them, you can answer by ii desu ne? Or yes, that's a nice idea. Again, ii desu ne? You could have said hi, ii desu ne, but answering with ii desu ne is like, a cute way of answering the question.
Sensei, I have a question. Why do we have to use the present negative tense of the verb? Aren't we inviting them to join us or do something with us?
That's a very good question, Cedric. Now, why do we have to use the negative form of the verb? It's like, don't you want to come to Kyoto with us? Instead of saying, would you like to come to Kyoto with us? It is because Japanese are very known to be polite person or polite people. And they don't want to impose anything even if they're inviting you to join them to do something. That is why they're using or giving you the negative tense of verb so that you can refuse anytime. Just as I've told you, it's like, don't you want to come to Kyoto with us? By using the negative. It's like that, how do I explain this? They're not imposing you to do it with them, but you can always say yes. But again, using the verb masenka gives you the option to say no. Wakarimashita, Cedric?
Wakarimashita.
Now, Ced, how about inviting me to do something with you?
Sensei, isho ni kohi o nomimasen ka?
Ii desu ne? Very good, Cedric. Another thing that I wanted you to learn is using the verb masho. Again, verb masho. Now, this expression is used when the speaker is positively inviting the listener to do something with the speaker. It is also used when responding positively to an invitation. Now, this one, it's like when you're inviting someone and then you're not giving them any chance to refuse anymore. Alright, so let's look at the example. Let's take a break.
ちょっと休みましょう。
And then next, 一緒に昼ご飯を食べましょう。
食べましょう。
Alright, very good. Remember that we'll be using this when you're positively inviting someone and then responding positively to an invitation. Got that, everyone? Now, lastly, for lesson 6 topic is using ka. So this is very easy. Ka indicates that the listener has received and accepted some information. It is used in the same way as the ka in so desu ka. So let's look at the example. 日曜日京都へ行きました。I went to Kyoto on Sunday. Again, 日曜日京都へ行きました or I went to Kyoto on Sunday. Now, how would you respond to that, Cedric, using the ka?
京都ですか？いいですね。
Wow, you're really getting the hang of Japanese language, aren't you? Very good. Alright, that's just it for today. See you on our next videos. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to keep you updated on our lessons so you can master Japanese language in no time.
またねー。